Hi there. Okay, I moved around for this video, I'm sure 10 times because of how the light and everything's going. So you could probably see Junior down in the little corner there a little bit. Anyways, thanks for coming. And I know you're probably here for the make along, the Granny Square make along, and that's what we'll talk about first. And after that, I just have a few little things to mention about just some Granny Square things. So thanks for coming, and we'll get right into the make along first. Okay, so for the Granny Square make along, it's 3 parts. And if you see in my Instagram, I posted that it was starting this Wednesday. What you need to do is we need 13 Granny Squares. Mine, I'll show you what I'm using. So mine, I'm using a polka dot granny square. Just a second here, put it up together so it doesn't, so you can see. Mine's going to be a polka dot granny square. I love blue and I love circles. So you'll need 13 granny squares. I have a whole bunch of the circles made. Well, I have 2 of the squares made and I have all the rest of just the circles made. Now, if you want to make the same one as I'm doing, I'm gonna put up probably by Friday, I'm gonna put up just a quick little tutorial on just how to make the circle and square part. So when you choose your granny square, it shouldn't be much more than 5 or 6 inches square. And try and make a granny square pattern that's not too lacy, not too see-through, because our final project, yeah, it wouldn't be as good with a lacy granny square. So without giving it away, we're gonna do it. I think today. I don't know. Today is what's today? Today is March 8th. Today's March 8th. So April 8th, we'll do part 2, and May 8th, we'll do the final part. So that gives you lots of times because everybody's got all kinds of projects they're working on, I'm sure. Okay, and also for your squares, it doesn't matter what yarn you're using. The project will be good whether you use cotton, acrylic, polyester, wool, I guess would be okay. Anything really, it doesn't really matter. I'm using cotton. I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby, just because it's what I had. And let's see. Yeah, so to get started, pick a granny square, any granny square that's not too lacy. There's so many to choose from. Yeah, you can go on Pinterest, or YouTube has all kinds of tutorials for different granny squares. There's some really fun ones. Like there's ones that have little flowers on it. If you want, just a little hint, if you want to do like an accent granny square for the project, you could use 2 of them. So if you want kind of plainish ones and accent ones, for this project, you'd want 2. Like if you're doing a flower on it, or like, you know, a 3D flower that comes off it, you could have all flower granny squares. It would look beautiful like that too. So that's going to be a surprise. So just for part 1 is simply to pick your granny square pattern. Make sure it's not too lacy. A little bit more solid is better. And make 13 of them. Anywhere like 5 to 6 inches is a good size. So that's the parameters for the make along for part 1. Oops, I almost said part 2, for part 1. Okay, so I have mine started, and so have fun finding the granny square you're going to use and create 13. And when we come back in a month, we'll go on to step 2. Okay, so I had mentioned after the Make Along Granny Square project Make Along, I guess that's what it'll be named, because I keep flubbing up with the name. It's a Granny Square Make Along. So let's say Granny Square Project Make Along. So I have a few other things to talk about just that has to do with granny squares. And I am super hot, so I'm just gonna take this sweater off. See Junior peeking at me. Hi Junior. Hi Junior. Can you see him? I'll just tip it over. There he is. Poor Junior. He's an old guy. He's an old guy. I don't know how to say it, but he almost met his maker, but he was having some really bad issues, old dog issues, and anyways, we won't talk about that. But he's got a little bit of medicine, and he's doing better. Are you okay? I know you're okay. Don't worry. He doesn't like me sitting here moving around too much. He doesn't like too much movement around him. He's not sure. His sight's going a little bit. Poor little Junior. Okay, so there's a few other. If he growls, he's not a mean dog. It's just because his sight is a little. He doesn't know what's going on too much. So I might scare him by making a little bit of movement. Anyways. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about in another video, if you remember, I had showed you these huge granny squares that I was going to make something with. And to all you new crocheters, new knitters out there, you know, stuff happens, you mess up, and a lot of work is kind of, I don't know what word I can use on here, but a little bit of a disaster happened. So I'm going to share it with you because not everything works out perfectly. So if you remember, I had showed you these beautiful granny squares that I had made. I'll just hold up a corner here so you can see one. Try not to scare Junior. But these granny squares, there's blue, there's light blue, there's a darker blue, and this beautiful coral color. And they're beautiful squares, and I will give it to you eventually. I was going to do it once I finished the project that I was doing. And I might as well tell you, okay, so this is like humongous. So if you can see how big it is. So the squares are about 18 inches and it's 3 by 3. So there's 9 squares, and my intention was to make a really nice ruana, like a duster jacket, a deck jacket, but long. And what happened was I crocheted them all together with this nice, like a navy blue cotton. And I mean, it was all great, but what happened was when I folded it and made it into the ruana, it was humongous. It was too big. It was like the squares are just too big. And this being cotton, it was very heavy. So cotton is super heavy. So then I thought, oh God, I thought I was finished. I had closed it. I made the ruana. I was all happy. I weaved in all my ends, cut everything off. And I thought, after I had it on a couple times, I'm like, this is too big. This is not going to work for me. But at first I thought it was great. So that's why I weaved in all my ends. But so then, now when you weave in your ends and you try and take something apart after, good luck with that. Because look, I took off the whole border all around. I had to cut most of it. And I'm going to have to take every square off this because every single place I thought I would be able to what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it as a nice blanket for outside on my deck because it's heavy, like cotton's heavy. And when I was working on it, it was so nice. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to make some new squares. I'm not going to make them as big. I'm still going to make my Ruana with this same square pattern, but I'm just going to make it smaller. And I'm so I'm so discouraged about it. Oh my God. So, you know what? When you mess up like this, it's trial and error, especially if you're trying to design something. So this was like just a big headache, a big headache. So now I got to finish taking it all apart and then put it together again, all the squares together again, so I have a blanket, and border it again. So it's very discouraging. But so is the life of a maker. That's what happens. You make stuff and not everything turns out fantastic. At least the squares are beautiful. Like I do have, like it is gorgeous. Like if I don't want to disturb Junior too much, but if I just sit sideways and you just see it hanging like as a blanket, like it's beautiful. It really, really is pretty. Okay, so much for that. Okay, so there's just one other little, I'm just gonna get a drink if you don't mind. This is one of my favorite things to drink. What I do is I buy, because I don't like cranberry juice, so I put water and then I put about this much cranberry juice and then full of ice, because I know cranberry is really healthy for you. It's good for your UI tract. Is that what it's called? I don't want to say it, but it's good for your tract. And with water and I buy the no sugar, not no sugar, the diet cranberry, and then ice cubes. It's delicious. Even my grandson loves it. Forget about it. So my last little thing I want to talk about is another granny square little project I have going. So I had this in my stack. My granddaughter put a little card in here for me. She makes little cards. She writes something, she folds it, and it's like she gives it a gift. It's a card. Cute. Okay, so anyways, I had this in my stash. This is called, it's a sport weight cotton, and it's really pretty colors in it. See the light there? That's more like it. Yeah, the light from outside was blasting it. So really, really pretty. And it was Kristen Omdahl. She used to sell yarn, and I had this in my stash. I hadn't made anything with it. It was a fine yarn, a sport weight, but it's like really fine. So I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't want to make another cowl or another one ball project. So what I did was I made a whole bunch of granny squares. So I'm going to just keep making granny squares until this ball is gone. And I should be able to make a little summer top with it. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's just, they're just standard granny squares. There's nothing, it's just your regular granny square, nothing special. But I have quite a few. Like I have quite a few. So I'm probably going to get, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10. So I should be able to get 20 out of it. So it's going to be pretty. I love these colors. See if you can, let's see if you can see if I block. Oh boy, this is not working. So I don't know, like see if you can see there how pretty. They're so pretty. The colors are beautiful. And it's like really light cotton. It's going to be a very drapey little summer top. It's going to be cute. So I'll be sharing that with you as I go along. So that's pretty much all I have. So hopefully everybody joins along with the make along. It'll be a fun project. It's an easy project. It can be a great gift. It can be for you. You'll probably want to make more after you make the one. So anyways, hopefully you join along. I'll be posting little tidbits on the Instagram. I'll leave the links below. And I'll see you here again on, I mean, regarding part 2 of the Granny Square project make along. We'll be back here on April 8th. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. Bye.